G'day and welcome to another slow and steady video here on the channel. My name is KT and today is Trucking Thursday, back with our small series of long drive south. We started of course with On the Road and we made it halfway through the map and it took us 42 minutes. Here we are at the very top of Alaska here up in Prudhoe Bay, well, just in the northern part, and we're going to travel all the way down through Fairbanks, I think it goes, or Coldfoot, then into Fairbanks, and we're going to set a sat nav down to the southernmost part, which is, well, I just need to decide where it is really. Hold on, probably I would call it Valdez, maybe. Let's have a quick look. Let's pop one there. That looks pretty good. Yep, so we'll call it Valdez. So all the way down from north to south, and we'll see how long this takes us in real time. Now what we do is the same as what we did on the road. We're going to start a real timer here as I sit here, and we'll time in real time how long it's going to take you to get from the top of the map to the bottom of the map, basically. But I hope you're well. Thank you for joining me on this road trip. Here we are on Alaska. The truck is ready to go and it's all checked over. And yeah, we've had a good sleep. We've had something to eat. So let's jump in the truck. And we're going to start it up. And all working lights, you know, unlike that American terrible game that we were playing, lights are perfect on this game. You know, the truck looks absolutely brilliant. We've got sort of side lights or headlights and then full beam here. Lights are absolutely perfect. Now, you know, we can talk about this game as we go on our road trip, which is completely fine. And we will, you know. So I'm using manual gears here, but today I'm actually on a controller just because I thought I always want to come back to a controller and you know, give an opinion on the game. So I am using manual gears. So we'll pull away in third. Now I have turned the truck engine down because as I was coming up, I was sort of checking the sounds. Let's just get through this tight little gap here. So yeah, this is the northern part. I'm going to flick to third person every now and again just to enjoy the truck. We've got an animated character in there. Very good, actually. She will cross her hands, and there's a few characters to choose from as well. But here we are at the northern part of the map as we drive south. Okay, so, oh, that was lucky. I need to set my timer, so let's get it started. Running in real time. Now, the gearing and the engine is very strange. I mean, you can pull away in top. It has 9 gears. We're already up in top and it's 40 miles an hour. The top speed of this truck is around 55, which indeed is the speed limit, which you'll find yourself getting to, and the truck is then petering, you know, on its limits. And it becomes sort of like this white noise, if you like, which you'll hear through this video. So hence that I've turned the sound down, because you know you won't want to listen to that for 45 minutes. Just going to go through here a second. 55. Now, as I was coming up onto the northern part of this map, I was thinking actually that there is a nice diverse world here. You know, you will see trailers parked around the world. Now, unlike on the road, where you will see other wagons and trucks and trailers of the Scania and MAN variety, of course, but you won't see. Watch out for that cop there. Oh, come on, am I speeding? 28 in a 25. That's a bit rough, isn't it? Is it? Which way are we going round? Is it left here? It is. Okay, you look. See. You've caused me trouble now, haven't you? Let's go into reverse. Hold on. There's a car behind. Right. Everything's fine. Nice bleed of the lights onto our side of the cab there, where the car behind had their lights on and it bled into the cab. That's quite cool. Okay, so we're up on a dirt road. Like I said, we're not going to pull too much of the game apart, but there's no dust trail behind this truck, which is a damn shame, I think, because if you're up on a dusty road, you would expect a bit of dust here. Now we're going to talk about the developers as well of this game, and I've got some information for you. If I could just get up on a straight road, and I'll gather that information. We've got plenty of time, 25, so I'll try and obey the speed limits, but it does tend to go from a 55 to a 25. Look at that on the bottom left hand corner. We've got 1,000 miles to go, and it will be interesting just to sort of see in real time how long it's going to take me to get from the northern part of the map to the southern part of the map in Alaskan Road Truckers, and also do the same in On the Road. I thought it would make an interesting series, and and here we are. So but as always, I'm going to drift by my train of thoughts will get lost as we talk away, and so you'll have to bear with my brain. But I'm very grateful for all the subscribers, the true SAS crew. Thank you for being part of the channel. A big shout to you. And if you're not subscribed and you kind of dig your trucks, bikes and horses, then maybe this is the channel for you, and hitting subscribe would be most awesome in helping my little journey here on YouTube. But look at this wonderful view here. Really isolated Alaska up in the north. 46 miles an hour, and as I said, there is a real diversity of this game. But we've got this truck coming up here. This is like a cement mixer, but you won't see any any other ice road trucks really. But I think this game was quite ambitious. I think that's the words from the Road Studio crew. It's published by Green Man Gaming, and I don't recall the chap's name, but I watched him being interviewed on Game Tech, and he was saying that it was an ambitious project. If you come onto it now, it's if you're coming into it now, it's probably the best it's ever been. It certainly did launch with quite a few bugs. It still has bugs in it, but overall it's quite a good game if you can set your bar quite low and just sort of put up with some of the inconsistencies like frame rate. Sometimes it will drop the sound, but you see what I mean about this. Actually, we're up to 63 miles an hour, so that's quite good. But it just becomes quite white noise. Now, the other thing about this game that doesn't make it quite so relaxing, this is why I'm using this view today, because it's a bit quieter out here. The other thing about this game is there's no cruise control, and so if you're going on these big long journeys, you'll find that you need to hold the R2 button down for long periods. You could be 20 minutes holding a single button down. And, whilst you might think that's no big deal, as you get older, certainly like me, I'm 51 years old, you do start to get cramp, or like your hand aches, so I only come back to this game every now and again. I do play it on the wheel as well, which obviously makes it way easier because it's with the right foot instead. But holding R2, in a racing game, you're sort of on and off the brake and stuff like that, I suppose, with a controller. I've never really experienced any ache of my hands, but, on this game, because you're holding, I love trucking, so I'll truck for like 2 hours. But who wants to hold a button down for 2 hours? Do you see my point? So, I know their argument was that they didn't want people using cruise control on the ice roads because you need to sort of be very vigilant about your speed. Whilst that's completely fine, and I understand that, they should have just had this thing where when you entered the ice roads proximity, you were unable to use cruise control. It would have been really, really acceptable, you know. So we're now 100 miles in, so 895 miles. We're now 7 minutes on the real-time clock. And we'll choose a halfway point, or we'll get to about 40 minutes into the video, and we'll sort of see how we go. But I've got a couple of facts to share with you as we go through. Bit of a stutter there, you can see the foliage loading in as well. So you have to be quite forgiving when you come into this game. But overall, you know, if you sort of compare this with on the road, you've got a selection of trucks. These ones are not licensed, but I do love, I love the film Convoy, so I'm always going to go with a black truck that looks like this. It just it makes my heart happy. So that's very similar to the truck that I'll be running on ATS, and I think this camera view is pretty nice actually. It's there's not like 6 or 7 cameras like Truck Driver Gold. With this you only have the 3 cameras, but you know, overall it's a fairly chill game. There's quite a few loads. You work towards different licenses. You've got military, you've got medical, so there's a big skill tree here to sort of unlock. So you know, there's some longevity. I think I've put over 140 hours into this game, so I've easily got my money back. So you know, you get to a point, if you kind of put like 20, 30, 50 hours into a game, then you've sort of had your money's worth out of it. You know, it costs like 20 quid, 25, 30 pounds. You'll have to forgive me, I still think I'm full of cold, although I seem to have like some sort of snotty thing since COVID, which I've never been able to seem to shake. But I'm grateful to everyone who comes here and listens to my little waffle. You know, I was obviously quite passionate about trucking, and hopefully that comes through on the video. But we've got no trailer on today. We are simply going to do the trail from north to south. Like I said, we're going to talk a little bit about one of the huge landmarks here in Alaska. We were talking about the different trailers, and there really is quite a few different loads, and more than that, there's also some really interesting and diverse drop-off points as well. So if you were to compare it with on the road, which is kind of what we're doing here, talking about map sizes, you know, the drop-offs on this game are again quite diverse. There's opportunities just to throw it in a yellow bay, or you can just pull in. There's like 3 drop-off areas, or for bonus XP and money you can reverse it into a spot, and I always sort of try and go for the reverse spot really, just so I sort of think that's your primary spot really. But this game still gets a bit of support now and again. You'll see a patch drop on the game, and of course their next installment of, it's called Road Truckers, isn't it? Road Truckers New Beginning is going to be more of a kind of like story based cozy affair. See, with this there's no story. It's your truck. You've got some, you know, you've got a bit of a survival element. Hold on, there's a copper there, so I'm just going to drop it down. I've already got the speed limit once. Let's come down a couple of gears. Look at that, see? So it goes from 25 miles an hour, literally for about 12 feet, and then goes straight back up to 55 miles an hour. Which is a bit of a shame, really, because in many instances, they do, you know, quite a lot of good things in this game. But when you look at those speed limits, that's poor design or poor effort or poor choice. You know, just to put a police car there. They could have had the police car up on the 55 speed limit, but the trouble is the truck doesn't really do over 55 miles an hour. There was a big stutter there, and you will get some frame drops on this game. We're coming into full, so you've got a full set of seasons there. Let's go up a gear into ninth. So already we've got 150 miles down, I think we are. Let's go back outside just for this journey. Plus we get to see the world as well, which is quite nice. Now I'm wondering whether I've come down a different road to the one that I came up on. No, I haven't. Okay, can you see that big ass sort of steel pipe that runs over the land of Alaska? I did look it up actually, and I thought, oh, that would be interesting to talk about. So that pipe there is. So that pipe is the Trans-Alaska Pipeline System, the TAPS. Let's just watch the road a second. It's an iconic engineering marvel built to transport crude oil from the North Slope to the ice-free port in Valdez. So we're going down to Valdez. That must run all the way over Alaska. So it says in Valdez in the south. Key facts about this pipe: it is an 800 mile or a 1,288 kilometer long pipe. The diameter of the pipe is 48 inches, 1.2 meters, and the pipeline traverses 3 mountain ranges: the Brooks, Alaska, Brooks, Alaska, and Chugach, whatever that is, over 800 rivers, streams, and what does it say here? And 3 major earthquake faults running alongside sections of the Dalton and Richardson highways. So there you go. I thought that was just an interesting fact about that pipe there. Well, we just gather up a little bit more speed. And I put my glasses back on. Hold on 1 second. So 700 miles, we're going to have to grab some fuel. Let's go up a gear into 9th gear. And, you know, but overall, like I said, you know, the game is okay. You know, it's okay. You know how, like, Truck Driver got a gold edition? It's a shame, like, even if they brought in new investors, like, to, that they weren't, or maybe they could reinvest in this game and really kind of, you know, bring a new graphics package to it, a new sound package to it, and sort of, you know, enhance what's here, bring some new trucks, new liveries, maybe expand the world. Maybe I'm asking too much. The interesting thing, you could sort of say, well, you know, Katie, we've got Alaska coming in American Truck. Well, we don't know that because obviously we don't know how many DLCs are going to drop on ATS and ETS. It's certainly going to be a money pit because those extra counties and countries are going to cost real money. But you know, SCS is a labour of love, as Firestone said in the comment, and this is a small team. I did look up to sort of see how many people, 25 miles an hour, how many people are part of Road Studios. It's undisclosed, so it's not information I'm ready to, but I can only imagine it was a handful of people. And you have to really, there's that pipe, look, you have to sort of commend what they have done here, you know, and maybe they've, to go with their cozy game that they've got now, a narration story, it looks like you've got to fix up a town, you've got an old truck that you get to sort of look after. It's going to be a very, very different IP to what this is. So, I mean, they could sell this IP. You know, one of the interesting things about this game, and we're going to need some fuel desperately in a minute, and we're going to be in proper trouble. Over a huge bridge here, look. He's giving me a speed ticket. Never mind. So 650 miles. I'm going to check this map a second. Okay, so checking the map there. Looks like a fuel station in Fairbanks, but we're quite a way out. 650 miles to go, and we're now 18 minutes on the clock. Now take my timings with a pinch of salt, of course, because we're all doing different speed limits and get caught behind traffic, and I am looking at the map here and there, so do take these times with a bit of pinch of salt. It's 4:40 in the morning. We're okay for top left hand corner, you can see that. Oh, let's go up a gear, sorry. That large pipe there. 800 miles, cracky. Speed limit 55. But yes, we're talking about the new beginnings, and yeah, you know, it makes you think, like, why don't they sell this game to a game company that might be able to, you know, do more work on it? And then you ask yourself, well, Katie, is it worth it? Because we, you know, in a minute we're going to have American Truck Simulator, and they do have Alaska up there. Yes, they may very well have that, but they don't have, you know, the mechanics of the truck getting out, looking after the air filter. We don't have the seasons. So, you know, I don't want to write off this game. You know, some people might. Some people just go, well, I'm never going to play that again. But there is an intellectual property here. There is, you know, elements of this game that is not being replicated anywhere else. And so, maybe we should have a gold version of this game. Maybe we should have a graphical update. You know, some proper quality of life. You know, the sounds need improving. But ultimately, is it going to be worth it? That's going to be the big question. And, you know, do they want to sell the game, or do they want to invest in the game even further to release a gold edition of Alaskan Road Truckers? I don't know. The question may very well go unanswered. But as I've said before, you know, I don't want to really live in a world where we only have one trucking game by SCS. You know, I do want to see these indie companies come in and, you know, give their take on a trucking genre. 25. Oh. I'm a little nervous about my fuel, but we'll sort of see how we go. We're 20 minutes in now, so probably going to make this video around the 30-minute mark. So that might very well be stopping in Fairbanks, I think. And we'll stop at the fuel station. But I have a gut feeling, not entirely sure, but I may call it now and say, actually, Alaskan Road Truckers is a bigger map than... and maybe you knew that. You knew that already just by looking at the map. But I thought it would make an interesting video. It gives me a chance to waffle for 20 minutes, and it actually just brings a different trucking video to the channel. You know, we'll get back to trucking, and we'll get back to hauling. I'm still working on some of my classes. I think I still have to unlock the medical part of the skill tree. But saying that, we did have 1,000 miles to go. It could be very similar, you know. And we now have 500 miles to go. So maybe it's about the same. But hey, let's jump back in the cab. The dials are okay. They're a little bit blurry, but they do indeed work. However, we did check on a live stream, and if you take the HUD off of the and just use the dials, you're unable to see. Well, you're unable to see quite a lot. You cannot see any working dials for the fuel. You are unable to see your survival mechanics if you take the HUD off. So you've got to keep, you know, if you want to have a HUDless display by driving, you then have to turn it back on to see your sleep, hunger, and energy. So that's quite annoying. But here we are. Yeah, you can hear that engine at 50 miles an hour, 58 miles an hour. But hopefully we're coming into Fairbanks now, otherwise we're going to be scuppered for fuel. I don't think I've ever called for help for fuel. Thankfully, that is a mechanic in the game. and you know, we are able to call for a bit of fuel if needed. But hopefully we'll come in quite soon. So Fairbanks showing that we're 500 miles off of Valdez. But I hope your Thursday is going well, whatever time you're watching that. And if you're watching on a Friday, then happy Friday to you, or Monday, or whatever. 55 miles an hour. And but yeah, single track road here, and of course, you know, I'm currently in the fall, so another couple of days driving, and we will be in the winter. You know, and the winter drive's okay. Does the graphics look okay in the winter? They're okay. This game does everything okay, you know, and you know, if you did pick it up, if you, like I said, if you have your bar quite low, I think we're coming into Fairbanks now. So let's jump to third person, because we haven't done third person for a while. But no, indicators working all fine, look. So everything is fine. Got a bit of fuel. I'm sure the station is around here somewhere, so we might actually indicate right. I don't often go to third person. Let's put the handbrake on. Let's see if anyone drives into the back of us. Now they will do if there's a trailer on the back of us. They do drive into the back of you, which is another bug that needs to be sorted out. Waiting for these set of lights. But it's a good looking truck, I think. Handbrake and pull away. We've also got a shop here. I'll do that off camera, to be fair. I just want to pull into this fuel station. And let's indicate again. And we're currently at 25 minutes. Wow. I will check that map as well, because sometimes sat-nav goes a bit doolally. But I think we're going to call our time here just as we park up at the pump. Let's put it there. And let's turn off our lights and the engine. Beautiful. Okay, so we're at 25 minutes 46 seconds. I'm going to stop that there. We are currently in Fairbanks. If I zoom in. Oh, zoom out. Okay, is that going to give me the name? Oh, is it because I've turned all this off? City. There you go, Fairbanks. Okay, so that's taken us 25 minutes. I'm just going to check to make sure that the sat-nav is still set for Valdez. Yeah, perfect. Well, that is it really for this video. So 485 miles to go. Looking at that, 25, that's 50. Come on, Katie, you're not very good at your maths. 20, 40, that's 50 minutes. It's going to be quite close. You know, again, take it with a pinch of salt, you know, these timings, but I think it's going to be quite close. Well, look, that's it from me for this Trucking Thursday. It's a good game. It's a game that I did put out a few videos ago, that it is a game that I still very, very much enjoy. I wish it had more support. It does still get the odd patch here and there, but yeah, I don't know. Sorry, that green line is sort of quite annoying. It's a shame you can't turn off certain things within the game and sort of turn off this green thing here. But, you know, and just kind of... And also, just while we're here, just while we're talking, we need to declutter this screen as well. If you're in a third-person view, there's no need to have that information on the top left-hand corner. There's no need to have a sat-nav on the bottom left-hand corner. There's no need to have a rev counter and speedo on the bottom right hand corner if you're in third person. And it's a shame that you can't have, like, you know, things where you're able to... Let's just jump out the truck. Hold on, it's driving me crazy. Yeah, so again, we're outside the truck now. That information could really just do with disappearing, or the ability to turn these sort of things on and off. But yeah, some quality of life is definitely needed. And I think that's me done waffling, but I apologise for my cold. Take good care of yourself. If you like the video, smash the like on the way out. It's always super appreciated. And to all the subscribers, thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for for being here, man, for being part of the SAS crew. So from me to you, take good care of yourself, and I'll see you on the next one. See you soon. Bye.